decided to get into the tutorial because I tried out a new technique where I did a sort of blended out cut crease. It's almost like a half cut crease, but this part right here is also a cut crease, but it's blended out. You'll see what I mean more when you see how I did it, but this is definitely a very new, different sort of look for me. Usually my cut creases are always very, very sharp and defined, and I never really blend it out here, but I really do like the way it looked, and so I hope you guys like it too. Not gonna waste too much time talking here at the beginning since I'm always doing a review and talking for hours at the beginning of my tutorials, so might as well just get into it. Before we get started, I just thought I'd throw in one quick reminder to hit subscribe below this video if you haven't yet. It helps me out so much, and you know you wouldn't want to miss any of the makeup tips that I have to offer in 2018, so make sure to hit subscribe to stick along with my channel. And I believe that's all I have to say, so without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so before we get into the tutorial, just thought I'd point out that this part of the tutorial right now is refilmed. This part of the original footage came out completely out of focus, and I wasn't gonna do that to you guys because frankly you couldn't even tell what I was doing, so I'm gonna refilm this part, but a bitch don't got time to refilm the entire tutorial. So I'm gonna use the rest of the footage that turned out okay from when I filmed yesterday so that I can get this video up in time for New Year's Eve. To start off the look, I'm going to be taking the shade Buon Fresco from the Modern Renaissance palette. I love this shade as a transition shade in the winter since it's just a really nice purpley undertoned taupe, and I think it adds a really nice subtle pop of purple to my looks. So that's what I'm going to use today. So I'm just blending that into the crease and using it as my transition shade, and I'm using a Morphe M441 for that. And then as I start to blend out, I'm just going to start to drag it out and blend it out from my outer corner. Almost like you're doing a cut crease, but I want to keep it blended down here too. I also did not do the other eye today because there's no reason for you guys to see me have the other eye done when I can just teach you how to do it on this eye, so sorry, it'll be there in the next couple of minutes. After that, I'm gonna dip into Timeless Taupe. This is by Coastal Scents, and this is just a gray undertoned kind of darker taupe shade. And I'm just gonna blend that into the crease, but I'm not gonna blend it out as far or as high as the transition shade, which is gonna start to build up that gradient effect. And I'm using a number 8 brush from the BH Cosmetics Crystal Quartz brush set. I honestly don't even know why I wasted that time blending it in down there. I guess I was just keeping the overall look in mind, but we're gonna cover that with concealer, so I guess you could just do this as if it were a normal cut crease if you really wanted to. Then on a number 10 brush from that same brush set, I'm gonna take the shade Burnished Brunette, and this is just a dark gray matte shade, also from Coastal Scents. And I'm just gonna blend that into the crease as well. Also same thing, just not taking it up as high. And I'm pretty much just gonna treat this shade as if it were just a regular old cut crease. And since I'm gonna go for a pretty dramatic cut crease today, I wanna make sure that I'm blending these shades a little bit higher than I would my natural crease. And then using my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut my crease. I'm using a number 9 brush from another BH Cosmetics brush set. I don't remember the name of it, and quite honestly, all their brush set names kind of sound the same, so I will insert that below. You don't need to worry about making this part out here very precise since we're gonna blend over that. That's pretty much just acting as a guide. But I'm gonna make sure that this part in here is nice and sharp. And then once I'm done cutting the crease, I'm just gonna cover that entire lid with that concealer. Messy ass bitch. And then before I look up too much and ruin the whole thing, I'm gonna go ahead and set that concealer using this Foiled Shadow by Coastal Scents. This is just an icy silver called Alpengeist. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and wet my brush using a little bit of setting spray. And that's just gonna make sure that this shade goes onto the lid with as much intensity as it possibly can. And honestly, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with my finger a little bit. It's old news at this point that foiled shadows are gonna apply best with your finger, but I'm just gonna make sure not to mess up that precise line, and I'll go back in with the brush once I need to apply it there. Don't worry about applying it in here because that's gonna be covered in black. And then once I'm all done with that, I'm gonna dip into the black shade in the Morphe 35B palette. And I'm gonna just start to apply that in the outer V. And once I get to the cut crease part, I'm gonna just kind of blend that black in right over that line, which is gonna create that diffused sort of smoky look. And then I'm just blending that silver foiled shadow in with the black. And then I'm just kind of flicking that black outwards like it's a wing. And then taking that number 8 BH brush again, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of blend that out a little bit. This is one of those looks that's gonna look a little bit rough until you go in with concealer and lashes and liner and everything you need to complete it, so you just kind of have to trust the process. I think that's up to the intensity that I want it to be, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the glitter so that it doesn't end up all in my concealer. First, I'm gonna go in with my NYX glitter glue, and I'm just gonna apply that directly to my lid using my finger. You really don't need a whole lot, but it does dry quick, so it's better to just put a little bit in a portion and work in chunks rather than putting it all over the lid because it will dry and you'll just end up wasting it. And then for glitter today, I'm going to be using the NYX Glitter Brilliance in the number 06, which is a really pretty iridescent silver. I'm going to do my concealer. I'm using Maybelline Fit Me once again, which I also prime my eyelids with, forgot to mention that. And I'm just going to apply that like you all know how to do concealer. I want to get it close to that edge there, but I don't want to cut it completely, so I'm not going to put it all the way up to the line. And then once you get to the edge of that eyeshadow, you just want to be very, very careful and precise. Make sure that it stays blended. But you also want to make sure not to cover any of it up because that would be devastating as well. And then I'm going to set that using my Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. And I'm using a Real Techniques Beauty Sponge to blend in that bake. Gonna blend that out just a little bit more just to make sure we didn't lose any of that sort of diffused smoky look. And then the last thing I'm gonna do before we pop back into yesterday's footage is eyeliner, and for that I'm using Kat Von D Tattoo Liner as always. And I'm just doing a pretty thin line of that, just enough to line my eye and hide the lashes. Alright, so I'm going to pop back into the original footage and I'm going to put on some lashes and some liner. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pop back into the original footage for this look. If my look looks like a completely different eye in the next shot, that's because it is, because evidently $1,500 cameras don't know how to autofocus. And then I'm just lining my waterline using Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. This one's in Perversion, which is just black. And now I'm just going back in with Buon Fresco from Modern Renaissance again and just putting that under... in my eye, I guess. But I'm just putting that underneath my lower lash line. I'm gonna blend a little of that up into the outer corner. And now I'm just taking that same Morphe M168 and that black shade from the Morphe 35B palette and just putting that directly underneath my lash line as well. And then I'm gonna take this shade right here from the Jaclyn Hill palette. Mine didn't come with a shade sheet, so I don't know what the shade name is, but it's that one. And I'm just gonna apply that in my inner corner. And I'm also gonna highlight my brow bone with that. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my lashes off camera real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, so to contour my face today, I'm gonna go ahead and use my NYX contour palette. I'm first going to bronze my face, so I'm gonna go in with the warmest brown shade from the palette. And I'm using a number 2 brush from that Crystal Quartz set by BH Cosmetics for that. And then I'm gonna mix the 2 cooler brown shades in the palette and I'm gonna contour just the hollows of my cheeks with that. Then I'm gonna use the banana colored shade in the palette to highlight underneath my eyes, just brighten them up, make myself look wide awake. And I'm gonna mix that banana shade with this lighter shade in the palette, and I'm going to use that to clean up my contour. Also gonna contour my nose a little bit with that cool brown shade. And then on a beauty blender, I am taking that banana colored shade again and just cleaning that up along the sides of that contour. And that's just really gonna make my nose look slimmer than it actually is. Maybe, hopefully. For highlight today, I'm gonna be taking my favorite new contour palette that I just found. I actually found it at Walgreens, but I'd been hearing about it for like a year from other YouTubers, and I now see why everybody was obsessed, because it was only $10, I believe, and it's like the most blinding highlight I've ever used. So I'm gonna continue to use this guy and love it. So today I'm gonna use this more lavender highlight. It pretty much just comes off as white, and that's what I want. First, I'm gonna apply a little bit of that cream shade, and this is just gonna give it a base, and then that way it'll last longer and it'll be more poppin'. And once I'm done with highlight, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my blush. I like doing it in this order because it helps to blend the blush into my cheek rather than it just looking like a shiny sort of stripe. And so for blush, I'm taking Mellow Wine by Wet n Wild. I'm gonna pop just a little bit of that highlight in the center of my nose and a little bit on the tip. And then for lips today, I'm taking Calypso by ColourPop, which is an ultra satin lip, which I've discovered I like way more than their ultra matte lips. The ultra matte lips kind of get a little bit crusty. These ones, no problem at all. And they look totally matte, so I'm gonna start buying this formula from now on. Alright, what flavor vodka is it?
I don't know. It's actually girls' taste.
Oh god, okay. Well, I'll just do it real quick because you're falling asleep anyways. Okay guys, this is gonna be the completed look. Alright, so this is gonna be the completed look. Alright, so this is gonna be the completed look. Alright guys, so, ooh. Alright, so this is going to be the completed look. I really like the way it turned out, especially because now that I've got the lip on, I've kind of realized that this is just a more like advanced version of the New Year's Eve look I did last. It's kind of cool to look back and just see how my makeup skills have changed, how much my videos have changed, and how much the quality has definitely improved. So I'm pretty proud of that, and I just kind of wanted to make sure that I got this look in because I did it last year, and I think I just kind of want to make it an annual sort of thing on my channel because anytime I get to look like a disco ball, I feel like I'm gonna take that opportunity, and there is no better time than New Year's Eve to go in with some holographic silver glitter, which is my sort of thing. So I hope you guys like the way that the look turned out as much as I do. If you are new to my channel or you just haven't hit subscribe yet, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe below this video now to help me out so much and be a part of my makeup family. I post videos every single week, and I'm gonna be even more active in 2018. I will be very active in 2018 now that I have my new camera and I've got my whole little setup, so I'm really, really excited, and I hope that you guys will stick around and follow me on my journey through the makeup world. And I believe that's all I have to say for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!